This is the Family Dynamics Podcast with Kevin and Alicia Meeks.
Welcome to the Family Dynamics Podcast. Yes, I am your host, Kevin Meeks, my beautiful, illustrious co-host, Alicia Meeks. Once again, she is not with us. My wife is extremely busy. She does events. She creates mats. She has her own group, a Sport Wives Club. Guys, you've heard all of this stuff. But I will get my dynamic duo partner on here soon. But today, I just wanted to share with you guys, just what's been going on with me. On this podcast, we talk about co-parenting, family, marriage, just the wide range of things that go on in the family, right? Blended families, right? So guys, just to get right into it, you can see the topic. The topic of right now is court order or no court order, agreement or not agreement, parenting agreement or not parenting agreement, parenting plan or not a parenting plan. Now, you can feel the way you want to feel, and every situation isn't cookie cutter, right? So in my experience, I feel that court orders is necessary. Now, I know a lot of people is going to say, like, why should we have the judge, or why should we have the system in our business? Well, hey, now it becomes a business, and it becomes what's best for the child. And when you leave a relationship, you get divorced, or you had a relationship with someone that ended, you had a child that came about out of the relationship. However the relationship ended, now you have to be of the business of the child. And that's truly what it is. And in co-parenting, a lot of times we try to have this hierarchy. Each parent feels like they're more important than the next. And that's just people. Like, that's just how people are. Like, as a father, I have rights, or I'm super needed out here in these streets with my children, and that's correct. I'm a mother. I birthed this child, and I should have more privileges. And I had to do X, Y, and Z for 9 months, and true. So both cases, you guys are right. But how do we put a bow, or how do we put a structure around our co-parenting lifestyle now, right? Because when you're in the house with each other, like, there's really not a lot of structure. There's a culture inside of the house with the child, the two parents, and there's a structure with the child. But when you co-parenting now from two different places, now you have two different lifestyles, two different mindsets, two different ways of living. Now that has to create a structure. So just to give you a framework, this week, my child's mama, my baby mama, sent me a text, and she was a little upset. And she was a little upset because she drove all the way to the school. Usually she gets our son on Fridays, right? Because I have residential custody. She gets our son from school on Fridays, and I guess she didn't pay attention to the day. And it was actually a weekend that I usually get every month. It's stated every month. It's in our court order every month that I get this weekend every single month. And it's been in our court order since probably at least about the last 7 years. So she says to me in the text message, she says, "Hey, I drove all the way out here. I didn't realize it was your weekend. Hey, do we still got to kind of do this whole, weekend thing? If you just needed the weekend, you could just let me know." And I didn't respond because I instantly got aggravated, but I understand, because I've been co-parenting with her for a long time, that she was kind of softly poking the bear. And how was she softly poking the bear, you may ask? Because, excuse me, because she was saying, basically alluding to, she had more control in the situation than I did. And that was what I was saying in the beginning. Everybody feel like they are the matriarch or patriarch in the situation, when truthfully we are doing this together. I don't have to ask you for time with my son or our daughter or however. It's documented the time that we get with our children, and I don't infringe, and I don't want your time to be infringed on, and I definitely don't want my time to be infringed on. So I didn't respond because usually I will respond with facts. And facts is the reason why parenting plans, agreements are in place so that lines don't get blurred, so that we don't get things crossed or we don't infringe on each other's parenting time. So I didn't respond. Excuse me. And I think that that's key for any co-parent. Sometimes no response is the best response. And I think that, because me and my baby mama, we had been previously in a relationship years and years ago for 9 years. So there is some history of and a knowledge and an understanding of the setup for a conversation, right? It's I'm married now, so now I can understand the tone, text tone, voice inflections to where my wife may be a little aggravated, a little snippy, a little ready, or having a little anxiety. So I respond based off the history of how she's feeling because how she's projecting to me. So that's helped me in my marriage to kind of calm down. And where am I going with this? I'm going with this to say I understand, and that's what a lot of us as fellas, a lot of us as co-parents, like, we have to understand the setup. And sometimes we fall for the banana and tailpipe. So I didn't respond at all, because facts is that we have a court order that's been in place for 7 years. And what she wanted to do, guys, she wanted to have a open framework where we just free ball our parenting. And that didn't work for us in the past, because at some point lines are going to get crossed, and what she want and what I want, someone's going to win. For instance, the holidays are coming up. You got Labor Day, you got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas, you got New Year's, and all of these other holidays. Someone is going to want the child at the same time. There's no way the child, you can do however you want to do, but there's no way that the child can be in two places at the same time. Now, in the past, we have split up a holiday, but a lot of times that don't work because you spend so much time exchanging the child that you miss the actual day, the Christmas and Thanksgiving. So it's easier to just say, hey, you can have Christmas or I'll take Thanksgiving, however it goes. So she wanted this framework now where it's kind of free. Like, it's been working out. And I know what she's thinking. It's been working out. We haven't been arguing much. Let's just throw the quarter on the by the wayside. We could just work things out. No, even when things are going good, as a co-parent partner with your baby mama or your baby father, keep the agreements in place. Things may be working out today good, but if you deviate from the court order, it is hard to get back. Now, during COVID, we had to deviate from the court order because we didn't have a itemized list in our court documents that said during national global disasters, this is what you guys do with your child. And I think that this hit a lot of co-parents, a lot of co-parents by surprise. What do we do in event of an epidemic, pandemic, or whatever demic it is? That wasn't stated in our parenting plan. That wasn't stated in our court order. So we had to do things. We had to do things that was off record, meaning we shared week for week. So our child, like most kids, was doing homeschool or virtual school or e-learning. So what we did was, you take a week, I'll take a week. I'll meet you on Sunday, and he'll do school at your house for a week, and back and forth, because it just kind of lightened the load for one parent to have to deal with the e-learning the entire time, and that would weigh heavy on one parent to not see their child for weeks on end until, because look, it lasted for a long time. So I'm going somewhere with this, guys. That's the only time we had to deviate from the court order, because it wasn't in our parenting plan to say, what do we do in the event of a national disaster? And moving forward, I don't think that we will put that in, because hopefully during our lifetime and in the lifetime of our child being this age, we won't ever have to deal with a pandemic where we have to co-parent. Like we won't ever have to deal with it because our child is of an age. Because they said statistically, pandemics and stuff like this happen every 10 years or whatever. And it seems like it's coming closer and closer and closer. But in our lifetime, we hoping that we won't have to deal with following a parenting plan guideline because our child is of getting of age where he will be an adult in a few years. So anyway, she wanted to deviate from our court order to where she pick him up when she feels like it. And it can't work, guys. Excuse me, I've been under the weather. It can't work because at some point she had no clue what I had going on this weekend. Your co-parent partner may not know nothing you have going on for the weekend that you had already set aside for you and your child. And at some points, it's not their business if you had planned something or your child planned to go with you somewhere. Or so I don't have to tell my baby mama like, hey, this weekend we was thinking about going to hibachi. We was thinking about going swimming. Like, I don't have to tell you that. It's my time with my child. I don't have to tell you every intricate detail about what we're doing. Now, that may differ from a lot of other co-parenting situations, but if I want to go out to eat with my son or I want to go to eat with my daughter or whatever, I just don't feel it necessary to communicate what we're doing. Because when I allow her, when she has time with our son, to be as free as a mother that she can be, and she don't have to check with me to be a parent. If something happens while you having your parenting time with our son, negatively, like he falls or he had to go to the hospital or something happened in the streets, like negatively, yes, communicate that with me. But you having fun or you nurturing a relationship with your child, that's something that you'll have to tell me. So meaning, by her wanting to infringe on my time because things are going good with us communicative-wise, our communication and things have been going good, I didn't want to deviate from that. And I don't have to. So that's why I said no response is the best response. And sometimes, guys, we do have to revert to our co-parenting plan. Like, hey, listen, you know what the court order says. And sometimes that's cringeworthy. That's cringeworthy. Like, you want to throw our documents, you want to throw our agreements in our face. Well, you are the one who is not aware of the agreement. This is my weekend. This is my holiday. This is my whatever it is with our child. So I didn't respond. And back to the point of the reason why I brought up this topic, is agreements worth it? Should you have agreements? Should you have court orders and so on and so forth? I would have to say yes, in my opinion. A lot of things go left when there is no structure, no plan. Children need structure and plan. My son, as of these last 7 years, know that this is the weekend I always have with my dad. And it's usually the first weekend of the month. He even knows it. From a little boy to now. Children need structure. Children need routine. And if parents are just, flying off the seat of the handle, like, oh, you're going to go with your dad, or you're going to go with your mom, it confuses the children. It confuses their learning environment. It confuses their home time. As much as we want to do what we want to do, structure, routine is important. And it cuts down a lot of the arguing, bickering, and some of the toxic communication that we have as co-parents, to just say, hey, look, this is on paper. Look, you got stop signs, you got street signs, you got rules and going to businesses and places. Why don't we have a structure for a system called our co-parenting? We need that. We're sensible adults to know if we're at an intersection, we need to stop and look. So we are sensible to know that, but they also put a sign there that says stop. Just in case you don't know that you're crossing and someone else could be crossing, let me just let you know to stop. That's what a court order does. Let me just let you know what your financial obligation to your child is if that's in your court order. Every month, every week, bi-weekly, whatever. Doesn't take away from you as an adult. Doesn't take away from your ability to handle your responsibilities. But when it's written down, no lines can be blurred and crossed as to what's required. So that's my little tidbit about co-parenting and should you have a court order? Should you have agreements? Listen, it's very important, guys, in my opinion. Some people can go years and years and years without using it, but I guarantee you, I've been a co-parent my entire adult life and half of my teenage years. I've been a parent since I was a teenager, and I've seen the good, bad, and the ugly. Before court, I came from notarized letters at the currency exchange, and to be honest with you, those work until they don't. Notarized letters are good for agreements, but they are enforced by any municipality because it has to be stamped by a judge. If you want your agreement with your baby mama or your baby father to be concrete, it has to be stamped by a judge. Yes, when you got two sensible adults, you can write a letter, type out a letter, you both sign on the bottom of the document, go to a currency exchange, you both show your license or your ID and get it notarized, and that you both have a copy of what you agreed to. But in the event that one party deviates from that agreement or wants to violate that agreement, with a notarized letter is not enforced by any municipality, meaning a police officer or anything like that. If you were supposed to pick up your child from school, or if you were supposed to have them for the birthday party, because it's not stamped by a judge, it is not and will not be enforced. At least in the state I'm in. At least in the state I am in. It's best that you get it stamped by a judge with the court stamp and seal upon it, so that the police can enforce, if in an event, hopefully not, that one party violates it because they feel like they want to deviate. So what is the end result? The end result was I continue to have my parenting time, and come next week, I will in no way, even if something comes up I feel that he will be best suited for and fit for, I will not infringe on her parenting time. So, hey, put down in the comments. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up, like, follow, and share if you feel like, hey, if you truly disagree. If it's just me having a very toxic relationship with my baby mama, then just say it's just you, Kev. If not, hey, say, hey, man, that's me. I've been dealing with that, man. I've been trying to figure out, hey, and it's called a parenting plan. Court order parenting plan. Stamped by a judge. If you want to have uninterrupted time, if you want to have enforceable time with your child, you're going to need a parenting plan that is stamped by the judge that outlines all of the details for school, pickup and drop-offs, weekends, holidays, birthdays, taxes, everything. My court order outlines everything but a pandemic or epidemic. It's even outlined where we pick up and drop off our child. Which location? Is it lit? Is it dark? Which outside nephew, niece, uncle? It's not even in there. Only you and I can exchange our child. That's it. That's it. So, guys, this has been another episode of The Family Dynamics. Put down in the comments again. I will get my beautiful wife on here soon. And like I always say, I'll see y'all in a minute.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Family Dynamics Podcast with Kevin and Alicia Meeks.
Thank you, guys.
Please like, subscribe, and comment. And don't forget to follow us on social media at The Family Dynamics.
We'll see y'all in a minute.
Bye.